Hello and welcome back to The Feminine Perspective. My name is Emily.
Hi guys, I'm Verity.
Right, so we just wanted to have a catch up and just film it because there's a few things that have been bothering us both a little bit that we just wanted to be open and honest about.
Yeah, we're going to keep it current today. So this is what's happening in our lives right now at this moment. Our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, pretty much everything. Who wants to go first? I think, should we do you first?
Okay, this might be an emotional one.
Yeah.
So I have obviously everyone who knows me knows I love cats. I've got 3 of them, and obviously one of my cats is called Boris, and I don't know why it's been bothering me so much lately, but I've been having, obviously I've talked before, I have really vivid dreams and stuff, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
And I keep having this dream about Boris. He's 19, so
he's an old cat.
Yeah,
he's
an old boy. Yeah,
he's done so well.
Yeah, Yeah, and I know. Someone said to me today that you were you got the pet package deluxe with him, because obviously he is old, and I know he's old, but it's hard. I've been having reoccurring dreams at the moment about just him dying. And but they feel so real, when they're happening. I experience all of them, the emotions in the dream,
How often are they reoccurring?
I've had a few of them recently.
Okay.
And I had the one that I had the other day. It felt so real.
Yeah.
And I feel I am just struggling with that a bit now, because visibly he's changed a lot. He's really skinny now. He's just an old man, and he looks old as well. And I think I look back at photos and stuff, and he has changed a lot. And I think now I'm just struggling with that. I don't want to get upset instantly talking about it, but I probably will. Yeah, my experience with grief obviously before had been so anxiety inducing and traumatic that I think I just fear experiencing that again.
Yeah.
And I know that is life, and it's going to happen, and there's nothing I can do about it. And I know that, but it still doesn't make it any less difficult.
No, absolutely. It doesn't make it any easier.
Yeah.
And I think as well, one of the key things that you were talking about the other day is, Boris isn't just a cat, is he? This is a cat that's been in your life since you were how old?
7 years old.
7.
Yeah.
So,
which doesn't make any sense. How did I get a cat at 7? I'm 25. I'm literally nearly 26, and he's still alive.
It's crazy. And when you said how old your mum was as well.
She was 31 when we got her, and she's 50 now.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it?
Going
how?
From 31 to 50.
And you've still got the same cat. Yeah. And he's such a good boy. And I think for me, I've never experienced pet grief before. Obviously, when my friend passed away, that was fucking the hardest thing I'd ever been through. And I think I worry about, because I know that experience is going to come again, And obviously for me, your animals are like family members, aren't they?
They absolutely are, yeah.
Yeah, and I got him when I was 7, and he's been there with me through everything. I got him when I was at primary school. He was there for when my dad left, when I left primary school, started secondary school, my whole school experience. When I left secondary school, started college, my first boyfriend, my first heartbreak. He's met every boyfriend or anyone I've dated, who has been serious enough that I've brought home. He's seen everyone. And I think the fact that
sorry.
I just think the fact, fucking hell. Yeah.
Babe.
It's just it's really bothering me right now, because I know it's coming, and it's probably going to be sooner than later.
Yeah. And you said, didn't you, felt like the dreams were almost preparing you for this.
Yeah, that's what, sorry, I'm going to get to you.
Yeah.
Had them ready. I knew this was going to happen. Toilet roll.
Yeah, I didn't
we got
have
premium
any...
service at Verity's house.
Yeah, didn't have any Kleenex.
Yeah.
Next best thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is Andrex toilet roll though.
Yeah. Oh, you got the fucking premium stuff.
Yeah.
The luxury for wiping your pussy.
Yeah, absolutely. This pussy deserves only the best.
Not fucking Asda, like,
no.
bare minimum.
That's Asda price.
Yeah.
No Asda price for this.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like I think I'm having the dreams because I know that it's coming, and I think subconsciously my mind is preparing me to deal with the grief because like I know it's gonna happen. But it's like such a tough pill to swallow, isn't it? That like I know this is gonna happen, and there isn't anything I can do about it, unfortunately.
No.
But like it's like bittersweet, isn't it? It's kind of poetic, really, because the pain that I feel is like a reflection on like the impact that he had on my life and how much of a like good cat he has been.
Yeah, he's beautiful. I mean, having met him myself, he's so gentle and lovely.
Yeah,
and
so friendly as well.
So friendly. I was gonna ask you, and I know obviously, I mean it is relative to Boris, but you said he'd met absolutely every boyfriend.
Everyone.
Has Boris got a sixth sense of who he likes and who he doesn't? No,
he likes everyone.
Does he?
He loves men.
Does he?
Yeah, he does.
He's a boy's boy.
Yeah, but no, he's just so friendly, you know. And yeah, it's hard. It is hard because that's life.
Yeah.
You know, and it's sad. It's like, you know, because it's hard because I think it's something that everyone goes through at some point. You know, everyone is going to go through that at some point. You're going to lose someone really close to you. And it's just like a reminder for me at how life is so precious, you know.
And I think the fact that you have previously grieved so heavily
hard
as well, like it's almost knowing that you're going to go through that pain again is frightening.
It is, exactly that. And like that experience for me was awful. Yeah. One of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life. Like nothing can prepare you for like the pain of losing. So I guess though with that, like it was so sudden. So I didn't have like, it was so unexpected that I couldn't prepare for that.
And I think as well, losing someone in that way, in the way that he went, is, you know, as well as being sudden, it's a very traumatic, not that there's ever an easy way for someone to die, but it's a very traumatic death, isn't it?
Whereas like with Boris, I know it's like he's lived a fucking good life, you know, he is getting old. It's hard to see like someone you love like suffer, I suppose, you know, like he's not suffering otherwise, obviously, you know, like it's just, you know, when you see someone get old, and I guess you kind of have that experience eventually with your parents and things like that as well. Like it's weird. I think about that sometimes, like how different my parents look from when I was younger, or
it's really scary.
It's scary.
It's really scary and frightening.
And you almost see a glimpse into your own future, don't you? Especially if you look like your parents and you think, oh, damn.
And it's so quick.
So quick.
I can't believe how quick time goes. Like, obviously, you know, we were saying the other day when we were talking about Boris and the fact that he's been in your life for 19 years. Yeah. How quick that time's gone from you being 7 to 25. Like, how quick the time's gone. Like, I'm looking at my mum, she's 70 this year, and just seeing the age on her is heartbreaking. It's sad because, you know, obviously 70 is it's sorry mum, but it's old, you know what I mean? Old as shit. You know, and that's scary because my mum is like so precious to me. Obviously I already lost my stepdad, but and he was precious to me too, but my mum is like, you know, I mean, my rock, really.
She gave birth to you.
She gave birth to me, you know, she's raised
You're a part of her.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm terrified of that, and I think, gosh, how many years do I have left with you?
It's weird, isn't it? It's like a ticking time bomb, like right in front of your face, and then it's like you blink and all of a sudden you're there and you're like, oh shit, like I actually realistically it's not gonna be like long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like obviously it hopefully
No.
it's a while, but it's like it's either, you know, my cat and your mum are like at that age now where like they've lived their life
I know.
and they're at the sort of other end of it, aren't they?
They are. Did you ever, as a kid, so this is what, like, one of my experiences with death, before I'd ever experienced death, but as a kid, I don't know, I was a bit of an anxious kid, I guess. I used to lie in bed at night, and it would always happen at night time. I'd lie in bed awake thinking
about it.
yeah, oh my God, what, when my parents die?
Yes, how would I react?
How would I react?
It's weird, isn't it? Why do we do that? You almost like fantasize about it, don't you?
Yeah, but I'd be in tears, like absolutely, like
you feel the emotion, don't you?
Absolutely,
like why am I doing this to myself?
Yeah, and I'm terrified, absolutely terrified. And like when my stepdad died, I remember. So obviously he was given his diagnosis of mesothelioma, which is asbestos, like cancer caused by asbestos exposure. And he was given his diagnosis like I would say about December 2013, and he died in June 2015. So it was however many months that was. And when he was given his diagnosis, I remember having that exact same, like I was lying in bed. I mean, I was only like 22, 23 at the time when he was given his diagnosis. And I remember just having this like flood of fear come over me, do you know, like you would do when you were a kid. Just completely terrified, completely like broke down into tears. You know, I said to my boyfriend at the time, I was like, oh my God, you know, he cannot die. Like I can't deal with this. I felt completely overwhelmed. And then the closer it moved towards his death, I think because I had that preparation time, I think what happened was I just kind of got this, like, I guess it was denial, you could almost call it. Like at that moment, I refused to believe any of that was happening. So it kind of like took over. And
you're almost waiting as well, aren't you, for it to happen? And then you feel like you're waiting for the like relief, even though you don't want that to happen. But it's like, you know that it's coming. So you're just sort of stuck in this weird time of just like waiting,
stuck in limbo completely.
Yeah, because it's like you know, like I know it's coming, but I don't want to, like I obviously don't want that to happen. And obviously you didn't, but it's like realistically it is coming, and it's just a case of when. And that can be hard. I think it like prolongs the healing process, doesn't it? Really? Whereas when something happens, it's like, okay, this has happened now, and now I deal with it.
It's like that uncertainty almost kind of keeps you stuck. And you're grieving already. Like we were talking about this the other day. You were saying you almost feel like you're grieving before the event.
Yes, exactly that. That's how I feel, like having these dreams and like, oh, it's not happened yet, so why am I getting like this about it? But it's I don't know why this week has just been so hard. Like I've been crying so much, and it's not really like hit me before until this week. Like I thought about it, and I've had those dreams previously, but this week has just been really, it's been there, you know, at the forefront of my mind. And I don't know why. I don't know what changed. I don't know if it was the dream and as well, like I just noticed like a lot of people have been speaking about it, which no one ever says anything about it before. But like a lot of my clients have come round and they're like, oh my God, he's so skinny. And I'm like, I know. And like my mum's friend come round, and I think this probably didn't really help as well, and she was like, oh my gosh, he's so skinny now. She was like, that's how Molly was. And then she was like, oh, his back legs are going, that's how Molly was before she died. And then she just laid down and died. And we were like, thank you.
That's
not the greatest delivery, but like I get like it, you know what you're saying, but
oh God, I know, what a thing. Like dress it up a
little bit,
you know, or deliver it better. But it's
and I just think like I've been taking note of like everyone else's language, and like them speaking about it is just, no one's ever really spoke about it before, and I'm like, oh, it's weird that everyone's now saying it, you know. Like I spoke to someone on the phone earlier, I hadn't spoken to them for a while, and they were like, oh, how's Boris? And I was like, yeah, he's good. They were like, oh, he's still alive. And I was like,
oh God.
Yes. And then like I said like, oh, that's actually like been something. And then I got upset on the phone to them and was
Did
like, yeah. And I was just like, oh, this has been something that, and then it set me off. Like the moment they were like, oh, he's still alive, I was like,
Yeah.
And then I just was honest and said, like, I've been really struggling with this, like, this week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's as well, if you've had those really vivid dreams,
Yeah.
that's gonna bring something to the forefront of your mind.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then I mean,
Sorry.
no, that's fine. You know, like having repeated, I guess what I'm trying to say is sometimes when we've got something that's happened that's quite like traumatizing, like a dream like that's really vivid, where somebody dies that you love, you know, that's going to bring it to the forefront of your mind, and you may have been focused on it already kind of subconsciously in the background, and then you're going to notice those comments more. It's going to bring it right to to your attention.
Which I think people have probably made those comments before, because he is old. Like everyone fucking tells me all the time, like even before when I was like, oh, he's 17, they're like, fucking hell, he's 17. And like, it's just, I think I'm just noticing it more. Yeah. But it's still like, obviously because I'm dealing with that right now, it's just a hard pill to swallow when everyone else is sort of picking up on it and saying things, and it's like, I'm already worrying about it. So like, I'm like, oh, it's weird. And then a part of me is like, oh, why am I having this dream? Is it because it's going to happen? Which obviously I fucking hope not. But I just think like, I'm like, oh, I hope that's not why I'm having this like dream often.
So, you know, so I don't know if I told you before, like, sorry, going back to my stepdad, but it is again relative to Boris. So my stepdad was super spiritual, I told you, and he was into like interpreting dreams. Yeah. And he would always say, if there's an animal in your dream, regardless of what they are, like I would sometimes dream about, like I had a dream once about a sick lion that was in the water, and it was like poorly, and I went into the water and tried to nurture it and get it out of the water. But he would always say that those dreams are, an animal represents an aspect of yourself. Okay. So like the lion, the baby lion that was poorly in the water, he was like, the water is your subconscious. The fact that that part of you, that I guess what a lion would represent is that fierce kind of like animalistic part of you, is kind of not being listened to, or it's in the shadow, or it's in your subconscious. And the fact that you've gone in and brought it out of the water and looked after it and kind of I guess nurtured it back to health means you're bringing that part of your personality into you.
Taking care of yourself,
and that
makes sense.
So with Boris, if my stepdad was, I guess, analysing that dream, he might say, you know, actually it could be a part of you and a part of your personality, or something that's maybe that when I say dying off, I don't mean dying off, but that's kind of, you know,
triggering.
Sorry.
No,
you know,
sorry, I'm joking.
In the dream, like, but it could be a part of you that it's representing.
My friend Googled it, and because obviously I'm very open with my friends, and I like literally as soon the moment I woke up, I like sent a message to like my close friends and was like, obviously I sent it to you as well, just saying like, oh, I'm fucking struggling with this.
It was really heartbreaking. I was like, oh my god,
sorry, spring on you, but no, it's good to speak about it. Hence why I'm doing it right now, because I know I'm not the fucking only one who's ever felt like this in my life. You know,
this is our podcast, I think, is healing for us as well,
for sure.
Isn't it?
It is. Getting it out there and talking about our experiences and like just feeling.
Absolutely.
Life's hard.
It is hard, and we want to share those.
It's good as well. I don't want to be too negative. It is good, but there are aspects of life that are very hard and that you have to unfortunately deal with.
And this is why we don't want people to feel like they're on their own dealing with things like this. You know.
Exactly why I'm sharing it. But yeah, my friend messaged me back, and she said she Googled it, and she said that often if you have a dream about like a pet dying, it's because you're experiencing a lot of anxiety. Okay. And like I do, like on a topic of mental health, I suppose we can talk about that. I do struggle with anxiety a lot. But it's something that I've always experienced, from a young age because of my upbringing and the experiences I had at a young age. So I don't know, it's hard to think of like what it is, I can only settle on the fact that I think it's just in my subconscious, and I think because he is old and he looks old and it's very real, it's in my face every day, I can't escape it. I'm living through it right now in real time. I'm seeing it happen,
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it is just like a subconscious thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do experience anxiety a lot. So, that's just another factor. My anxiety definitely got worse though when my friend passed away. Like, that was a major traumatic event in my life. Like, I've never been the same since then. I was way less anxious. I still like experienced anxiety, but I wasn't as anxious and just aware of like the impending doom of life, And I feel like that changed me a lot,
Yeah. Is that what you're anxious of mostly? Is like that, like you said, impending doom, death's kind of...
Yeah, that's something I think about all the time, and I really struggle with. So like, I've I've got OCD, and I like anxiety and OCD. I'm medicated for it now after my friend passed away, and so like, even as a kid I always struggled with anxiety because my household was never a like safe place for me, like obviously I always say like your kids feel the energy of the household, so like if your parents aren't getting along, like you get the brunt of that because you feel it, and I think because it wasn't a like secure household or a safe place for me to feel, so like growing up it was very difficult, like I just stayed out of the way of my parents because like it's hard. I'm like, I want to say, but I don't want to like say too much, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, with one of my experiences with my parents, one of them was like, I was always treading on eggshells. Like I never knew what mood they were going to be in when they'd come home from work, and so I like grew up at a young age I learned at a young age that how I felt wasn't really important because I just thought, oh, best not. And that's how I learned to read people so well and their energy so well, because I just, I like, you could literally breathe different. I'd be like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. So you're so sensitive. I'm
so sensitive.
Obviously to your parents' emotions, because if they're tipped one way or another, that's gonna have an impact on you and your safety.
And as a kid, like that was hard, so I had that. And then like with another parent, they didn't really hold space for me to be able to share how I felt, it was very much so like, obviously I'd learned at a young age that how I felt wasn't really important, but then I didn't really get that from the other parent, just to have that space, like I would try speaking to them and then they would I just would come away from the conversation feeling not validated or like I hadn't been heard and listened to, it was quite a frustrating experience, to be honest, like growing up. So like from a young age I kept it in, and I never used to tell anyone, and I even at school, like I was the clown, like that was my role, like always in my friendship group, like I was the funny one because it was my sort of escape, I guess. Even though I was fucking drowning at home, like none of my friends knew about it, not a single one. And like it's a tough pill to swallow as well, like when your parents break up and one of them leaves, and obviously it was a hard, because I was 10 years old.
Yeah, I was going to say, how old were you?
Yeah, I was 10, and it was a hard age because I was old enough to understand that my parents were breaking up and that my dad was leaving, but I wasn't emotionally intelligent enough to understand why. Yeah. And as a kid, you think everything's about you, isn't it? And you think, oh, I'm getting replaced, and there were some things that happened that maybe weren't the best timing, and I was introduced to like, my dad's wife maybe a bit too soon. Definitely too soon.
How soon?
2 weeks. And then 2 weeks after that they told me that they were getting married.
Yeah.
And that was hard. For like 4 weeks after my dad's left, I'm like, oh, you're getting married to someone now, great.
Can I ask something? Did your dad have an affair with his Because
Yeah.
the only reason I asked that is because I feel like you and I have had really similar experiences. So exact same.
Yeah.
But I was
He
young.
says no, but
Yeah, of course.
I'm not stupid.
Okay, 2 weeks later, you're,
Yeah.
my dad.
Hope he doesn't watch it.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Oh God. It's okay. I'm gonna throw my dad under the bus as well. Sorry, Dad. I don't think my dad will watch it. No. He's far too old and uninterested in what I have to say. But my dad exactly the same. So except when I was 5. So I was 5. My little brother was 3, and my brother wasn't too affected by it. But I think obviously at 5, everything I knew was my mum and dad together, and then they separated, and then my dad moved in literally as soon as he left. So my mum, oh God, I'm so sorry, but
let's get it all out.
Yeah,
there.
let's get it all
we've
out.
Done it now.
Fuck it. Right, that's it. We're having a trauma dump. So I remember one of my earliest memories is I woke up in bed and I went to like the banister of the stairs, and I could see my mum screaming at my dad, and I didn't know what was going on. And I went downstairs and they're like shouting at each other. And my dad had a job in London. He was corporate. So my mum had a pair of scissors and was stabbing his briefcase, holes in his briefcase. And I was like, what are you doing to Daddy's briefcase? And she's like just losing her shit. She chucked my dad out, and I remember seeing him like walk down the front garden, and off he went. I was screaming like, Daddy, don't go.
It's traumatic.
Very traumatic. I didn't see him for about 5 weeks after that. And then when I did see him, obviously he was staying at his new girlfriend, who is now his wife's flat.
Yeah, my experience too.
And I went round there. I really liked her initially. We made like this little doll out of a cardboard shoebox, and they'd given us the double bed, me and my brother, because obviously we were only 5 and 3. So it was only a 1-bedroom flat. So they'd put themselves in the living room and like on a mattress or a blow up bed, and they'd given us the bed. So they went out of their way to make us feel really comfortable. But it was very, very soon, very early on. And I don't know about you, but mine and my stepmom's journey was never an easy or a pleasant one.
Me too.
There was a lot of, and I think on both parts. I mean, obviously as a little kid, I acted out.
Yeah, of course. You don't know how to regulate your emotions. So it's the adult's job to help regulate you and go through what you're going through, because it's a fucking massive thing.
It's a huge thing. Did your stepmom have kids already?
Yes.
Okay.
So she's not already. So they've had a kid together now.
Since.
Yeah. Yes.
So, and I think that probably makes a difference in terms of how a step parent reacts to a child's emotions. But we do have a great relationship now, but it's taken it took a lot of time. So she didn't have children. And my dad didn't want any more children.
That was
and there was then obviously a lot of resentment, I think, for me, and also I resented her because you've taken my dad away
and now you're having another child. Like, why can you have a child with them but you couldn't make it work with me?
Well, my dad and they never had a child. They never had another one because but I remember the arguments, and this is the kind of stuff you're subjected to as a kid. All the emotion from the parent who's been left, and all of the emotion from the new step parent, and then the difficult dynamics that maybe you're creating as a child when you go around there and see them. Then they might be arguing, and then everything is very much internalized as if it's your fault.
Yeah, it was a very similar experience for me as well. Yeah, and it's good if like anyone's watching and you're experiencing this, like it happens and you're not on your own. Like, obviously we're older now, so we can talk about what happened and what we wish was different and our own personal struggles through all of this. But I was introduced way too soon, and that was a very hard pill because I was an only child, and I've always been an only. I still say like my experiences and it's always been like that because there's 14 years between me and my sister, so
Wow.
it's a massive age gap, you know, massive.
So she's
11. She'll be 12 soon, yeah. Which is, and I'm 26 this year.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 26 shortly after, so it's a, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard.
Yeah,
'cause,
absolutely.
Like, when they are that young, it's like, oh, I don't really know. I've never really experienced children as well, so like I do find it quite hard to like communicate with her, because I'm like, oh, what the fuck do I say or do? I don't know. Like, I've never experienced it, you know. But like I have no resentment towards her whatsoever, like at all. Like, she's a beautiful girl, like such a lovely kid. Like, it makes it so proud. Like, it does. Like, when I see her like do things, it's so weird though, because like I'm like, I remember when you were born, and I was not fucking happy about her coming along. Me and my dad fell out about that, like, bad.
How old were you when she was? I'm just trying to work it out.
I was 13, 14, about to turn 14. So there is 14 years between us, pretty much. Yeah. I was literally a month away from 14, so...
You did say there's 14 years between us, and then I'm like, how old were you? Quick maths, Verity. I was listening, just my mathematical brain's like vacated.
But yeah, like the going back, I feel like we segued off of the things before, but like growing up, I've always struggled with OCD. It's always been something I've like struggled with, and it was I remember like it was bad when I was a kid, and for me so like there would be, I remember like when it was so bad, it was like if I like brushed my hand on something, I'd have to then get it on the other hand. It was like a sense of like feeling even. It's obviously because from such a young age I had literally no control over anything in my life. I felt so unsafe that it was I clearly wasn't dealing with the trauma, because obviously I've got no one to speak to. So like it was so bad, and like for me it's OCD. It's not, in a sense, for me it's not like cleanliness. It's like obsessive thoughts. So I would, if I attach myself to it, and I still experience it now, hence why I'm fucking getting upset about my cat, like as soon as I attach a thought to something, it's so hard for me to get out of that thought. And it doesn't affect like my relationships or anything like that. It's more an internal thing, you know.
Do you have things that you have to do to remove the thought from you?
This sort of links into how I got into spirituality, but I'll get there. But yeah, so then, and I also like I have Tourette's. So I had Tourette's, especially when I was a kid. Like again, not verbal. It was, well, I guess it was like tics, but. So it started off as this like harsh blinking, right? And then like, you know, like even like some of my mum's friends would like take the piss out of me and stuff, and which is like, yeah, I know.
As adults?
Yeah, as adults,
Come on.
Yeah, people would take the piss out of me. And I think as women we mask things very well. So like I'm like, I have this like tic, because obviously I'm not dealing with this trauma. It's building up. That's why all of these things are happening to me. So then I was like, well, that annoys everyone, so I need to think of something, you know what I mean? Then it's like I get a different one. So then after that it was, and I had this one for fucking ages, and I just couldn't shake it. And it was, I'd go all the time, and it's fucking annoying, and like it's embarrassing for me to share this, but I'm being real.
No, absolutely. And do you know what? I think it's important to share. Yeah. Because actually it's a lot more common than people think.
I think, I'm sweating while talking about this.
No, go for it.
Yeah, so I had that tic, and I had it for fucking ages, and like people used to fucking take the piss out of me. And I couldn't. It's the way I describe Tourette's is like it's an itch that you need to scratch, but if you scratch it, you fucking annoy everyone around you. But it's like building, and it's almost like painful. If I'm fighting it, I'm like, this actually is causing me pain fighting this, you know.
Can I ask? So in the same way as OCD, is it like
they are linked?
Yeah, because OCD I'm quite familiar with, and I'll share something with you afterwards. But I don't know if I've ever told you actually, and I know I've definitely
I've not told you this either, so
no. But it's quite interesting because there's definitely some similarities, and I'm kind of like putting the puzzle pieces together in terms of maybe our early life experiences. But Tourette's is not something I'm familiar with. Despite the job that I do, it's not something we come across frequently, and but OCD is.
Yes.
And it's incredibly debilitating. And,
oh my God, it's so draining.
It's horrific. Yeah. So is it like, I suppose with OCD, where you get the intrusive thoughts and then you've got the compulsive behaviours that you need to then do, either to remove the thought or neutralise it or whatever it is you're doing? Is it similar to that? You just get
exactly. It's like an urge and you're like, oh, fucking hell.
Okay.
Like, and it got worse, and it was getting, because I just wasn't dealing with it. And then like some issues with my mum was occurring. Like, obviously my experience growing up with her being a single mum wasn't easy as well. I don't want to go into too much detail about that because that's long. But just like struggles with some addiction, things like that. And it's hard watching the person you love destroy themselves, and because I didn't understand it, because I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Like, I love and care about you so much, please can you stop? And it's not that easy. And then it destroys your relationships. And like, me and my mum's relationship has been same as me and my dad. Like, I've had issues with both of them, but like, we are better now, but like, we had times where things were really difficult. And like, so that was sort of like the experience for me. And then I was getting, I'm getting older and it's getting worse because I'm still not talking about it. And then like, the Tourette's have sort of like calmed that down a little bit. It crops back up sometimes, but I remember like, so my uncle got stabbed in like, my family live in London, and my uncle got stabbed, and he did pass away, but they brought him back to life.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he literally should not be alive. Like, doesn't make any sense how that man is alive. But yeah, just fucking was in the wrong, just walking from home from work in the wrong place at the wrong time, fucking got stabbed. Yeah. And I was 17 at the time. I was 18. I was 18 at the time, I think. And I'd not long passed. I passed my test at 17, but like, it took me, because I'm such an anxious person, it took me a while to get onto like motorways.
Yeah.
So like, I hadn't been driving for that long, and like, it was my first car, and it was just like I only really drove around like where we're from.
I literally know people that refuse, even now, and they've been driving for like however many years. And sorry guys, if you're watching this, you know exactly who you are, and I'm really, really sorry. But I know people who are like my age and older that refuse to drive on the A1.
Really?
And refuse on motorways now. They've been driving like however many years.
No, I did eventually, like, I did do it, and now I literally love driving. I don't even think about it now, but like, at the time, it took me a while to get there.
But that's really understandable, because you've just passed your test. But people won't drive on the A1, and they also won't drive out of the county that they live in.
You need to, though,
because
you need to get that out, But yeah, when he obviously he got rushed to hospital, and he was in a coma and was on life support.
Shit.
And obviously my mum told me, and I remember I just fucking fell to the floor and like broke down in tears and was like, oh my God. And obviously this anxiety waved over me, so then it was a case of, now we need to go to London, because we don't know if he's going to be okay or not. And then that was put on, my mum doesn't drive, so that was put on me to drive. And I remember driving to London. Obviously I'm driving to London, which is, when you get there, it's fucking crazy. It's like a different world. You have to completely adjust your driving, so that's anxiety inducing. I also haven't this is the longest distance I've ever driven. Also, the circumstance of everything that's on the back of my mind, just there was a lot. And I was really, the Tourette's was bad then. And I remember driving, and I literally was like, like, I couldn't breathe because I like kept making that fucking noise. And like, my mum was like, just pull over for a second. I was like, no, like, I just need to get there. Like, I'm done, I'm doing it now, But like, oh my God, that was so hard. Thankfully, like, he's fine. And like, good. I did it. But there's been all of these times where, it's, and this is why the importance of talking about your problems is such a big thing, because my job literally saved my life, like, completely. I had so much unresolved trauma, and then I started my job when I was 18, and but it became my full-time job at 21, and it was the first time I didn't have like loads of friends. I had friends, but like, I wouldn't say, I never had like really super like, not the level of friends I have now.
Are we talking about your business now?
Yeah, and just like the friends I had at the time. And obviously, people, you get to know people in my job. Obviously I'm a beautician, I spoke about this before, and I was just doing nails at the time. And obviously, you know, I spent hours with these people, and I'm seeing them every 4 weeks. So you really get to know people when you see them once a month. You know, it's like catch up with your friends.
Yeah.
And you know, over time, like, they would share a lot of things with me, and then naturally it would, you know, maybe they'd tell me something and I could relate to it, and then I started to slowly open up about things, and oh my god, it was so healing.
Yeah.
Like, there's been so many experiences where I've had appointments with people, and we've both been like crying our fucking eyes out. And it was then when I was like starting to get better. And then I think because I'm talking about it and I'm having those experiences validated and being like, oh, that's not normal, or that's not love, or that's not okay, then like I started to like really wake up to a lot of like, I suppose, abuse, perhaps.
Yeah.
So like the emotional side of abuse and things like that.
Yeah, because it comes in different forms.
Oh
It's
my
not
God.
just physical abuse or, you know, sexual abuse.
Yeah.
It's the abuse is like psychological,
Yes.
emotional, financial.
Yes,
Like
yeah.
there's so many different elements of abuse, and I think people just think of it as like, you know, there's like a hard line, and once you cross it, you're into. I mean, I know we've spoken about this on a previous
on the last
episode, but yeah, there's so many different forms, and I think as well, the fact that talking has helped you so much is a really important thing to kind of mention. I think especially on here, because a lot of times, and I don't know about you, but a lot of times, certainly for the people that we would see, you know, in the job that I do, actually people say, well, I don't understand how you're going to help me, because how is talking going to help? It doesn't change what's happened.
I always say a problem shared is a problem halved, and I've lived through that experience, and I know that is fact, because I am so much better now than I am, and I'm not, obviously. So when I was like, so this was how I got into like spirituality and stuff. So my mum's like was obviously going through something. The addiction was bad, not drugs, just want to put that out there. You can catch the drift. Yeah, so it was bad, really bad. It's never been so. This was during COVID as well, and I think the fact that, you know, the world was filled with so much uncertainty at the time, and I understand that, and I do, you know, what's the word? Like, I feel for that. What's the word?
Got compassion for it?
Yeah,
like empathy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this was happening, and at this point, like, I've started to really talk about things, and I'll be very honest with you. If you ask me the right question, I'll literally tell you anything. And we went around my mum's friend's house, and my mum and her friend were in the kitchen, and it was just me and my mum's friend's friend sat in the living room, right? And I'm very, like, if you look at me, you can tell how I'm feeling or something's bothering me. You do it all the time.
Yeah.
You're like, are you okay? And I'm like, no. I'm sad about my cat dying.
Yeah.
But yeah, she said to me, she was like, are you okay, Emily? She said, you look like you got the weight of the world on your shoulders. And I was like, no. And this was before I was like diagnosed with OCD at this point. So
how old were you when you were diagnosed?
23.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm 21 at this point. Yeah. So yeah, I've always, so this was another thing growing up. So I used to have so this was obviously OCD. Didn't know that it was at the time, but I used to have strange fears growing up. Stupid stuff. So like when I was a kid, like I had a fear of running water.
Yeah.
Make any sense? I had a fear of like going to the toilet, like not weeing.
Yeah,
like I used to
it.
fear shitting on the toilet. Yeah. I don't know why. Like I think maybe because it's vulnerable.
Girl.
I don't know. And I'd have this thing in my head that's because it's an open hole, and I'm like, don't know what's in there and who's watching me. You know what I mean? As a kid, like, I know speaking this out loud is fucking embarrassing, but
I don't think it is.
No?
I honestly,
Okay.
I feel like I'm, you know, obviously keen to hear your story, but I'm actually, I think you're going to be super shocked when I say my part. You're going to be like, what?
Oh, okay. That's reassuring. Okay. Yeah, so I'd have stupid fears. So running water was one, using the toilet was another. I had a period of one was like the dark, bit more reasonable, but like, oh my god, that was crippling, like, of the dark. And then at this point in time, I think because of obviously my mum's addiction, going, like, watching her, she changed a lot. Like, one thing about, I feel like I'm beating around the bush, like,
No.
but I just don't want to say it, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, if you've ever experienced watching someone, like, they change, like, that is not the person who, you know, like, something takes over their soul, like, you see it in their eyes, the glaze, like, they're not there, you know? And I think just, like, realistically, like, with the way that it was going, I'm like, you're gonna kill yourself, like, being completely realistic, you know? And it was so painful to watch. And then obviously it was COVID, and obviously the uncertainty of the world, and obviously you've got death rammed down your throat every single day, you know what I mean? And I think that just didn't help. So yeah, my mum's, the friend was like, you okay? You look like you got the weight of the world on your shoulders. And I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I said, I've got this crippling fear of death right now. I said, it literally keeps me up at night. Like, I cry about it almost every day. I said, I have intense thoughts about me dying. How would my parents deal with it? How would my friends deal with it? What if my mum died? How would I deal with it? Because I only live with my mum. My dad and I, at this point, our relationship wasn't really great. I still saw him, but it wasn't like, thankfully, like, it's good now. But at the time, I didn't really have a relationship, like, a super good relationship with him. So, like, you know, at 21, like 20, I was about 20, I think, 2021, I was like, you know, what would I do? Where would I go? I'd literally, my mum at that point felt like sort of the only person I had, you know? Obviously I had friends and stuff, but, like, I don't have any family members around me. Like, I'd never see my family. Like, I don't have the luxury of, like, oh, my family live in the same town as me or whatever. Like, they live all over the world. Like, all of my dad's side are in Ireland. Don't really speak to any of them. Like, I see them at family events and stuff like that, but it's not a regular thing, you know? Like, it was a very lonely time of my life, very lonely. And I was honest with her, and I said that, and she said to me, honestly, it changed my whole trajectory of life, just this one conversation. She said, if you keep thinking that, that's exactly what happens. She said, if you keep thinking that your mum's going to die, Sharon, that will happen. And she said, have you heard about the law of attraction? And I was like, no. And she said that you are energy, and what you put out, you attract. So yeah, if you think those negative things, she said, that'll happen.
And this is how you got into spirituality.
Yes. Yeah. And it made sense, you know. And, like, her just saying that, I was just like, oh, fucking hell, like, that really makes sense. And then I went home, and I didn't research it at that point, and I just had that in my head. And every single time I had the thought about death, I was like, nope, it's not gonna happen. I'd just literally bat it out of my head and be like, it's not gonna happen. And within a week or two, I stopped fearing it. The fear went away, and I stopped thinking about death. It didn't take over my life anymore. Like, I became okay with it. I was like, can't change it, so, you know. And then I was like, fucking hell, that worked. And I realised how powerful your brain is. And
your thoughts.
Yeah, your thoughts are so powerful.
Absolutely.
And it can sometimes be your worst enemy.
Yeah.
You know, like, I've, you know, been there. My brain is not a nice place to live sometimes. And yeah, like, and the thoughts aren't true. You know, like, anybody who has those thoughts, it's not true. It doesn't reflect
who you are. And it's not what you want either. And that's a clear thing that I want to put out about OCD as well, is that actually a lot of the time we identify with our thoughts. We identify as our thoughts. We think, if I'm having this thought, then that makes me a bad person.
Yes,
that makes it something that I want to do or I want to act on. But that isn't the case. You are not your thoughts. Like you said, you're definitely not your thoughts. They're not true.
Someone said to me, you're just an observer of your thoughts. Imagine you stood there and your thoughts pass you by, but your thoughts are not attached to you. You just observe them.
Absolutely. Like, I used to, I mean, when I was younger, probably when I was like your age, and a little bit before that, and obviously my stepdad was really spiritual, I used to really believe in, like, the law of attraction. I was incredibly spiritual. If you'd have known me kind of 10 years ago, I mean, again, anyone that knew me 10 years ago will vouch for this, I was always into, like, horoscopes. I was always into the law of attraction, like third eye, that type of stuff.
Deep in there, that was me as well.
Yeah, dream interpretation. And then obviously doing the job I do now, I kind of feel like I still view it as a law of attraction, but probably more from, like, a bit of a CBT model, so like a cognitive behavioral therapy model. So like, our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors are all interlinked.
Yes.
And then when we have a thought, that can obviously create a feeling within us, which so if we're having a negative thought, that then kind of links into a negative feeling, anxiety. You know, people will judge me, I can't go outside, all of this stuff. And then that then leads to a behavior, which then reinforces those thoughts. So I think of it more in that kind of triangle now. It's not to say that I don't believe in the law of attraction. But the law of attraction started to scare me. In the sense of, I started to tell myself, you can't have that thought. And then I'd be like scanning.
It's like you've gone one end to the other end of the spectrum.
Where I'd be like, oh my God, I thought of that, and now that's going to happen.
It's like spiritual psychosis, isn't it? It's a real thing. It goes like the other way. But like, so I had that conversation with her, and literally changed my life. And then after that week, I was like, fucking hell, stop fearing it. And then I looked into it. And obviously with law of attraction links energy and spirituality. And then that was like the year that I fucking did a lot of self-work. I healed so much because I had a lot of unresolved trauma with like my parents leaving and that sort of my relationship with them. And then I sort of like was waking up to these sorts of patterns of abuse, because you know I'm like getting into spirituality and healing, and then comes with that other people's behaviors, and then I'm like reading a lot of like therapist stuff and like watching videos and all of that sort of stuff, and I'm listening, and I'm like, oh, that's like exactly like, you know, what my mom does or what my dad does, and I'm like, oh fucking hell, like that makes so much sense. And then I'm really working through, and just like forgiveness is such a big thing as well, because you know, I think we forget that like it doesn't make it okay, but I think sometimes hurt people, don't they? And it's incredibly difficult not to, because you've learned that, you've had that lived experience, you've learned that behavior, if you like, or way of coping or whatever it may be. And then, you know, inevitably there is going to be at times of stress or at times of anxiety, that behavior, that way of coping, that way of dealing with things is going to be passed on. And I would see stuff as well, and I'd be like, oh, I do that. That's interesting. I'm operating from a place of hurt rather than, you know, and then I worked on myself too, and how I feel and view the world and treat people. And so I'm a bad person, but like one thing I used to really struggle with was admitting that I was wrong. That was one thing I really worked on. Now I haven't, like, ego's not a problem for me whatsoever.
Why is that? Why did you struggle?
Because I think I grew up in such a strict household that I could never step a foot out of line. We are human beings, everybody makes mistakes, and you are going to I'm going to make mistakes, and I've said this before, like even in our friendship now, there might be a time where I miss the mark a little bit, you know. Doesn't make me a bad person. No, it just means, like, if you can come to me and be like, oh, actually, like, this upset me a bit, and I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I'm really sorry, like, you know, and apologize with not being like, well, I didn't mean it like that, you know, like, you're wrong, you know, which I'm not, you know, I'm not gonna, obviously there's lines with that where some abusers use that as a form of, you know, there's lines you got to be careful with, that sort of stuff, you know. But like, yeah, that was one thing I did struggle with, and I've like, ego is not a problem for me whatsoever. Like, if I fucked up, I'm the first to put my hands up and be like, yeah, I'm really sorry, I shouldn't have done that, you know.
I think that shocks people though, when you're able to do that. That's like a real thing where people go,
doesn't it? Oh, they expect an argument, don't
they do, and then it's almost like you're shitting on their fun, because you're like, actually, I'm not about to have this argument, I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have done that, but I can't go back and change what I've done. So
I'll never do that again.
I'll never do it again. You can choose to believe me or not. But ultimately, like, I can't do anything about it now.
That's the other thing, is action. If you apologize, it's met with action, you're golden. If not, then that's another problem. We have just filmed this episode, and we have been talking for a very long time.
2 hours. 2 whole hours.
So I think we're gonna split this into 2 parts. So thank you so much for watching part 1. You can catch part 2 next Sunday, and thank you so much for listening. Please, as always, like, subscribe, comment, all of those lovely things. Follow us on Spotify, everything.
Rate us 5 stars.
Yeah, please. And yeah, we'll catch you in part 2.
Thank you, guys. We love you.
Bye.